right, good afternoon. So I'm Sabrina Thompson, and I'm going to talk to you today about the stars, a little bit of a struggle, but also flight suits. So we'll start with the founder's journey. So if you don't know me, some of you do, I work at NASA. So I've been working there for the past almost 15 years, designing orbits and trajectories for NASA missions. Here are some of the missions that I've worked on. I'll start with MMS, the Magnospheric Multiscale mission. I know that's a mouthful, but that was the first mission I worked on where I worked on ground control, doing flight dynamics. So if you don't know what flight dynamics means, it's basically the people that work on the orbits and the trajectories. But this particular mission was a heliophysics mission, which means it involved looking at the sun as it relates to Earth. And so we looked at this phenomena called magnetic reconnection, which is related to space weather. Then just recently, I worked on a mission where I actually was able to use both my science degree and my engineering degree to look at things related to climate change and how the Earth systems work together. And that was with PACE. So PACE just launched in February of this year. Then some of my research on the side at NASA has involved some space technology development. So I have a US patent working with some of my colleagues on a technology that we use for GNC, or guidance and navigation systems, as it relates to satellite constellations. So instead of using one big satellite to achieve science data, we use smaller satellites, and coupled together, they function as one big satellite. And so we can get more temporal and spatial data. And so today I work on another mission where I use both my science hat and my engineering hat, and we're looking at, again, Earth, answering some of these climate change questions. And this one's called AOS, or Atmosphere Observing System. Okay, so enough of NASA stuff. Now, imagine being on a journey, pursuing a PhD in atmospheric physics, while also working full-time in an engineering role at NASA. Two completely different things. I know there are some scientists out here and some engineers, and you know we do not think the same, all right? So imagine having to learn how to think like a scientist and working full-time as an engineer. So one day, I opened my work computer, right? So I did this from 2018 to 2021. Then one day I opened my computer, and my mind just said no. It just completely nope, we're not going to do this today. And it was scary. It was confusing because this had never happened to me. And in the midst of that, I experienced, of course, burnout. Okay? So what do? Thank God I have a good job, and they were understanding. And mind you, this was during the pandemic, okay? So, yeah, it was a very lonely time, right? So, long story short, in the midst of this mental shutdown, I find myself on a sabbatical in Amsterdam. And then there in Amsterdam, of course, it's so vibrant, it's full of art, so I'm taking art classes, I'm going to all the art museums, and it was there, in Amsterdam, during a burnout part of my life, that Girl in Space Club emerged. It was then that I was rekindled with a little artsy kid that I was in my youth. the little girl who would wear Jordans and play basketball and draw and play with Barbies, right? But just draw everything I could find. That little girl came back to me in Amsterdam. So it was there in that visit that Girl in Space Club became a reality. So, in Girl in Space Club, we have this vision of exploration. We have this vision where you can bring art, fashion, design together with exploration. We have this vision where there will be this universal language of exploration that's open to everyone, all of humanity. And we want to be the ones who outfit those pioneers who are out there exploring, helping us to learn more about our Earth and beyond. That is our vision. So we started this vision like any other vision, right? Kickstarter campaign. That's exactly what we did. So at the end of 2022, we put together a Kickstarter campaign to make space for women, right? You see the hashtag there. And the goal was to address a problem that I think every woman who has worn any unitary garment, a jumpsuit, a flight suit, I'm sure if I let the crowd speak, you could tell me what the problem is. The worst thing about wearing a suit is going to the bathroom, okay? And so we proposed a solution. We proposed a solution where, again, we can fuse in fashion, make something look good, have it function, right? So you can do your job, right? You can explore and do what you do without worrying about if you have the right gear. Is it going to fit you right? Because this thing was actually built for a man, right? And then inclusivity. We're thinking about you when we're doing this design. So we want it to fit you so that your outfit is the last thing that you think about that's going to stop you from exploring and going beyond. So we were successful. We raised over $80,000 to create our first batch of flight suits. And as you can see, this was an effort that took a community that started to form. So as you can see here, and we've heard from at least one of these committee members here on the stage today, but this took a team, an effort, feedback, support, all these things. So here's our original design. And as you can see, the back opens up, and it's a drop seat that opens up. The zipper's hidden. I'm wearing it today, of course. And it snaps in the front so that the drop seat doesn't drag when you squat to use the bathroom. Now, it's not just the drop seat, it's the material that we took interest in as well. So that this suit can fit different body types, it's made of material that's strong, but also that has some stretch. So with the Kickstarter campaign, again, our goal was to make space for women. So of course we had to outfit an entire analog crew of women. So these women were all from Spain, and they performed research to help us understand the feasibility of going to Mars. So they did a Mars simulation mission. This was done in Utah at the MDRS station. So here are some pictures of the ladies during their mission. And so this work up until this time, so their mission was in April of last year, so by October of last year, the word got out about what we were doing. And so we got some media coverage, and we ended up in National Geographic, which I thought was pretty cool. Thank you. But we couldn't stop there. And so we started off with this problem that we wanted to address for women, right? Which we will continue. But how do we look at more diversity in teams, right? most analog teams are not all female, right? They're co-ed. So we wanted to look at how we could meet the needs of diverse teams, from age to sex, right, to shape. And so we started making custom suits, right? So this custom suit here is the same color as our original design, but this one was specifically made for cave missions. So they have reinforcements in the elbows and in the knees, as you can see. There's a male suit and a female suit. And then there's also piping, reflective piping, right? So that you can see each other in the cave, right? We could have made the suit black, but I don't think it would have turned out too well. So of course, this suit was actually the suit that was used on the Camoins mission that took place right here. Now, I won't tell you too much about this mission because I don't want to spoil somebody else's thunder. But this was a mission where there was a lot of firsts and a lot of amazing things that came out of this mission. So I just have some pictures here just to show all the amazing things that happened. But we took it up a notch. And so, okay, we took care of Earth, right? The desert, right? Caves, but let's take it to 0G. And so that's what we did this past last month, actually. We partnered with Aerospace, who has a partnership with 0G, and we were able to test our suits in 0G. So we learned a few things. One of the things that we learned essentially was the pockets. If you're doing somersaults and things like this, right, in 0G, things could easily fall out your pockets. And then we had the ladies do stretches and all types of movements to make sure that the suit was basically fitting for the environment. And then lastly, these ladies did actual research. So was their research affected by what they were wearing? Were they able to do their research without thinking about their attire? And so what's this thing about flight suits, right? It's bigger than this, right? This is about creating community around something that's bigger than all of us, right? So if you have people on your team who can do their job well, they can do their exploration without thinking about, okay, will the suit fit me correctly? This is where you start to open up doors for more people to join into this community, right? You want inclusion, you want diversity. So you have to make space for that. So here you see just images of women in aerospace who are wearing the flight suit, who are actually not in space, but they're going out and they're inspiring youth. They're inspiring the next generation. They're doing TED Talks, right? You have one woman up there who's about to go to space with Blue Origin. Now, will she wear our suit? I don't know, but she has one. Then you have the other young lady up here who's wearing our suit in Japan. So she's a spaceflight engineer in Japan. And then you have some women who, at the Analog Astronaut Conference this past month, who did a space fashion show for us. So they put on our suits, and we made some suits that were more fashionable than functional. But again, it runs the gamut. So we can literally make suits that are for fashion or for more utilitarian style for actual going into caves and such. So here are some of our community members and partners. And I say community because some of these organizations have helped us by connecting us with folks or have helped in some way Girl in Space Club to be where we are today. And here's one of our committee or advisory committee members. She wears her suit everywhere she goes. So she provides a lot of feedback, right? Put some Velcro here, add more pockets. So we're constantly in communication because we want to get this thing right. And that's with all of our clients. We want to make sure that we hear from them so that we continue to make this suit better. And then looking forward for the future now, of course, these are AI-generated images, but we want to bring this to reality, right? Why can't we have a runway with spacesuits, right? Like literally, why can't we think this, this way? Why can't we bring these worlds together? I say we can, and I'm on a journey to make it happen. And lastly, here's again, pictures of the community that we're building. We've made flight suits, but we also make jackets and things that make people feel empowered and feel unique at the same time. And that's pretty much it. So we have a booth. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So I will say, if you want to learn more, we have a booth out there. So please ask questions and join our club. Thank you.